Shabbat Shalom. We invite everyone to have a seat, to take a deep breath, to shut off whatever devices may still be on. Mechanical devices and also devices that keep us away from what's most important, from where we need to be centered in the heart, in the mind, in the soul, to have the ability to open up in the narrow world that we live in and create some space and some love and some vision and possibility. Yedid Nefesh, page 10.
משוך עבדך, אל רצונך ירוץ עבדך כמו אייל. ישתחווה מולד ערך, כי יבוא ידידותך, מנוף עצוב ובכל טעם.
Hallelujah.
Lechun Ranana, page 11.
Lechun Ranana.
People clap here, no?
בגויים כבודו בכל העמים נפלאותיו.
Adonai
Inbar Paz, Tzedek u'mishpat mechon piso ishchanan.
שם אהבה תשמח ציון ותגלנה בנות יהודה למען משפטך אדוני.
כי אתה אדוני עליון על כל הארץ, מאוד נעלית על כל אלוהים.
אוהבי אדוני, סינורה, שומר נפשות חסידיו, מיד רשעים יצילם, אור זרוע לצדיק, וישלב שמחה, שמחו צדיקים באדוני, והודו לזכר קודשו.
Page 17, מזמור שיר לאדוני, שיר חדש, כי מצוות עשה שיענו לעיני הגויים, זכר חסדו ואמונתו בבית ישראל. הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ, ניצחו ורנצו וזמרו. ירם הים לו, תבל ליושבי בה, נערות ימחאו כף, יחד, יחד הרים ירננו.
לפני אדוני קיבה ישפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים במשרים.
Page 19, Adonai halach v'mizmotim yoshev u'lim tzedek haaretz, Adonai v'tzion gadol rachum.
בעמוד ענן ידבר עליהם, שמרו עדותיו, בחוק נתן לעמו. אדוני אלוהינו אתה איתם, אל נושא היית להם, ונוקם על
Please rise, page 21.
מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בני לי,
be seated. I present Rabbi Sarah Krinsky.
Shabbat shalom. The Talmud records a debate between Chia bar Rav and Rav Huna. And this debate is centered around someone who was walking in the desert, Haya mehalech bamidbar, and forgot what day it is. It's a premise that we might recognize. On extended breaks, for example, or on vacation, how often do we find ourselves looking up and asking, what day is it? And more metaphorically, were we not all just pulled into a jarring disorientation this week, as news from Israel and Gaza, and just hours ago from Santa Fe, Texas, rolled in? So it was with the Mehalech Bamidbar, our desert traveler, who too, it seems, lost all orientation, lost her sense of time, and with it, her sense of self. And so naturally, the rabbis fixate on the most pressing and practical ramification of this wanderer, lost adrift in the desert. If she doesn't know what day it is, when should she celebrate Shabbat? Chia bar Rav asserts that our Mehalech Bamidbar should, immediately upon noticing that she has lost track of time, observe Shabbat at once. The very next day should be sanctified with Kiddush and ended with Havdalah, and then the traveler should count 6 more days before her next Shabbat. Rav Huna takes the opposite approach. He thinks that our traveler should, upon noticing that she no longer remembers what day it is, begin counting. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then on day 7, observe Shabbat. When trying to make sense of this difference of opinion, the Talmud zeroes in on a fundamental distinction between Chia bar Rav's conception of and connection to Shabbat and that of Rav Huna. Chia bar Rav, the Talmud explains, must be putting himself in the mindset and experience of Ha'adam, Adam, the first human, who was created on Erev Shabbat. Like Ha'adam then, our traveler too should experience her first day as Shabbat, and then begin the count anew. Rav Huna plays with another paradigm. Rav Huna remembers Shabbat as the capstone of the creation, not just of humankind, but of the entire world. And Rav Huna notes that in the course of this broader, longer creation process, Shabbat was not the first day, but rather the 7th. Our traveler then should mimic not the experience of the creation of the first human, but the experience of the creation of the entire universe in her counting. In many cases, the Talmud would leave such a dispute unresolved. Not here. Here, the Talmud decisively concludes the law is accordance with Rav Huna. Our Mehalech Bamidbar, our wanderer, is to embody the creation story, not of her own species, not of humanity, but of all species, not of Ha'adam, but of the whole world. And so she is to count 6 days, and then on the 7th, like God, to rest. Why? We may be tempted in our making sense of this explanation to focus on the Shabbat part of this question and its answer. But on this Shabbat, this week, the week of Parshat Bamidbar, I invite us instead to think about and focus on that Midbar, on the desert itself in which our traveler wanders. Our calendar aligns this moment in a powerful way in the experience of this desert. Our Torah reading enters the Parsha and the book of Bamidbar, and our counting of the Omer and preparation for Shavuot finally culminates at the base of the mountain in the desert, in the Midbar, waiting to receive Torah. And in this very moment, our rabbis too zero in on the setting, the experience of the Midbar. The Midrash asks, why was Torah given in Midbar Sinai, in the wilderness of Sinai? Why, we can imagine our sages wondering, choose this spot, this desolate wasteland, for the peak moment of the Israelite journey, for the foundational revelation upon which our whole tradition is based. The Midrash answers that unless people can make themselves hefker, can make themselves ownerless, just like the desert, just like the Midbar, they will not be able to attain the wisdom of Torah. Unless the Israelites could let go of their own particular wants and needs, pushes and pulls, and humble themselves in the face of this grand narrative symbolized by the vastness of the Midbar, then they would not be able to open themselves up to the divine presence revealed in front of them. This is the wisdom of Rav Huna and of our Mehalech Bamidbar. By demanding that she place herself in the story of the creation of the whole world, by coaxing her outside of the particularities of her own limited human experience, Rav Huna allows and demands that our traveler open herself up to the power of the Midbar, to the depth of Torah, and to the potential of Shabbat. This Shabbat, we may enter the Midbar with pain or anger, with outrage or fury, at the state of the world, a world that continues to allow children to be gunned down dead, and we may want to use Shabbat as a cocoon, as a retreat, or as a shell of safety or comfort. But that's not the state of the Midbar. So instead, on this Shabbat Bamidbar, on this Shabbat in the wilderness, let us embrace and live into, commit to the vast openness, with its fears and dangers, its power and potential. Let us demand from ourselves that we take the time to look beyond our stories, our own victories and triumphs, challenges and struggles, and open ourselves up to the stories of others, to the story of our world as a whole. And in so doing, may our experiences of wandering be renewed with perspective and purpose, with reorientation, and maybe even with a touch with the divine. Shabbat Shalom.
Chadodi, page 23.
עטרת בלב גם בשמחה ובצורה תוך אמוני על סגולה בואי חלה שבת המלכה לך
Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, page 27.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות
Page 28.
צדיק התמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון ישגה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובום בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולא עוולה תבוא.
Page 29, Adonai Malach Yudavesh Navesh, Adonai Yusita Tarati Kontem Elvatimana.
מקולות מים רבים, אדירים משברי ים.
ותבררום אדוני עדותיך למלואו מאוד.
לביתך נא הקודש, אדוני לאורך ימים. לביתך נא הקודש, אדוני לאורך ימים.
Please rise, page 39a, Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Be seated. We continue with the brachot before the Shema, page 39a. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'maro ma'amim v'mevim b'chokhmah poteh sharim. U'ma'avir yom u'me'ivin layla u'mavdil ben yom u'ben layla. Adonai Shema Yisrael Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך בשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך והיו שם שמונה Page 43A. Pray for redemption, page 44.
ומלכותו ורצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לך אנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם איראי ראי 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 מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך
V'yishkach mimenu baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. We pray for peace, page 45. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Ba'amidenu Ma'akinu L'chaim V'Protzenu Shalom Lecha. U'b'tzam Yafecha Tasiris V'yashon U'shmor Tzleitenu the formal text on pages 47 through 52, the own prayers of your own hearts. Turn now to Vaychulu, page 53. Vaychulu Hashamayim ve'ha'aretz v'chol tzva'am
ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא העליון קונה שמיים וארץ.
מגן אבות בדברו מחיי מתים במאמרו האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו
המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו כי בם רצה להניח להם
לפניו לעבוד ברעב ופחד ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד.
עוד הברכות להודעות אדון השלום מקדש השבת וברך שביעי
ומניח בקדושה לעמי דושני עונג זכר למעשי בראשית
אלוהינו אלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו רצה במנוחתנו קדשנו עצותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך זבינו מטובך ושמח נפשנו לטהר ליבנו עולותיך באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו ברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו הישראל מקדשי שמך. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Hadi Shalem, page 54.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמך רבה, ויעמד דברכותיך וימליך מלכותיך בחייכנו וימלכנו ובחיי בית ישראל, בגאולה בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמך רבה מבורך, לעולם ועולם.
וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה לשמי קודשה, וכולם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבקתה ולחימתה ומרים בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
תתקבל צדו ותנדכו ישראל קדם ובנו שמי ואמרו אמן.
יהי שלום רב מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
This Shabbat we celebrate Sadie Sklar becoming a bat mitzvah and Joshua Kovacs becoming a bar mitzvah, and they'll lead us in Kiddush on page 55. We'd also like to invite any children who are here up to the front for a cup of juice, and also if you're here for the first time, we'd like to welcome you. Please come forward. Sadie. No one's here for the first time. Is that possible? I don't think so. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay. We want to welcome our communications manager, Lisa Schillen, who's from Australia, and her parents are here. They made their way all the way here from Australia, so we're really happy to have you here. And Lucretia, who's a member of our staff, we're really happy to have her at services too. I guess Lisa's not here for the first time, so she's Kiddush, page 55. Josh wants some more.
Good work.
Alenu. Oh, sorry, the children. We have a couple children. This talit is the talit Sarah was wrapped in. I got the great privilege of wrapping her in this talit for the first time yesterday when she became a rabbi. Now it's the blessing of the kids.
Malach hagoel oti, Malach hagoel oti mikol ra, yevarech et ha'ne'arim, vikarev ha'em בשמי, בשם אבותיי, בשם אבותיי, אברהם ויצחק, וידגו לרוב, וידגו לרוב, בקרב הארץ.
For the girls, we say Yisimech Elohim Kisara Rivka Rachel Veleah, and for the boys, Yisimcha Elohim Kephraim U'Manasseh. And together,
יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
Amen. We want to welcome once again, we have a group from Berlin and Australia, and welcome everyone who's here for the first time. You're welcome to go back to your seats. We turn now to Aleinu on page 56.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שמחתנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים, משתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא שירת השמיים ויוסד הארץ מושב יקרא השמיים ממעל ושכינת עוזו ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני
now that all those who are in mourning or marking a yard site to please remain standing for Mourners Kaddish. We also, of course, hold in our hearts those who've been killed in Santa Fe, Texas, and all the life that has been lost this week in Israel and certainly across the world. So much life has been lost. Page 58. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma dirach pirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei t'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah brach ve'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shmei Dekudesha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Da'amiran v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May be seated. We want to offer our condolences to Carolyn Meyer-Wortels and Gary, her husband, and their children, Rebecca and Noah, on the death of Carolyn's mother, Marcia Meyer, who was buried today, and to the 10 dead and 10 wounded at Santa Fe High School in Santa Fe, Texas. We want to wish a mazal tov to Sadie and to Joshua, and becoming bar and bat mitzvah this Shabbat. Tomorrow morning, they'll read Torah at services and lead us. And we're looking forward to that. Services at 9:30 tomorrow morning. We also want to wish a mazal tov to Rabbi Sarah Krinsky, Rabbi Daniel Novak, her husband, and new Rabbi, Rabbi Luca, who's also here, and Rabbi Ben Goldberg, who's not here but is a member of BJ. It's a really, really beautiful gift that we have in our community of having fellows and students. We're in proximity of JTS and HUC, and what it means to be able to have students who have devoted their life to this gift of a profession and a vocation. And we've been blessed to have Sarah with us for 2 years. She's going to be around the city a little bit longer for another month, and then she and Daniel will be making her way to DC. She'll be the assistant rabbi at Oded Israel or as they call it, Addis, in DC with, I think I said this when it first all happened, but with the co-senior rabbi, one of whom was also a fellow at BJ, which is a first, a Shechianu, that we have a senior rabbi who is a fellow here and now joining with an assistant rabbi. So it's a really big blessing, and Daniel will become the assistant director of George Washington Hillel. So we're really excited for all of them, and for Luca and Ben. Mazal Tov. Tomorrow morning, Sarah will offer the Devar Torah, and we'll celebrate their ordination. Tomorrow evening is Shavuot, the beautiful holiday of receiving the Torah, of which we've been anticipating since the second night of Pesach. We have a very, very special evening tomorrow night, which is going to be an evening of devotional song and spoken word. We have Caroline Rothstein, who she's an incredible spoken word poet who has Judaism in her bones in terms of her own poetry, and so it's going to be weaved in between songs. And as we walk through the books of the Torah, through song and spoken word and teachings of Torah with Broly, myself, Dave Mintz, and Ari, and a beautiful band of musicians, many of them Indian kirtan musicians. So there's going to be a really, really special feeling in the room. And Shavuot is not a holiday that everyone has had access to. I would say I grew up with Shavuot being confirmation, and it wasn't necessarily where the attention was devoted. And it's a holiday not to be missed, I have to say. And so tomorrow night we'll begin at 9:30 with a short evening service. The program will begin at 10. It will go till 12, and then we have an all-night study, which Tobias, our other fellow Sarah, myself, and Roli will be teaching at until about 4:30 or so in the morning. And then there's an early service that Roli will lead, and then I'll be back at 10 for the later service with Ari. Both services will be reading the Ten Commandments and marking this extraordinary gift of receiving the Torah. So we hope everyone will join us. And what I would say is, you don't have to commit to the whole thing. Just come for a little part. Like if you've never been here before, if you've never experienced Shavuot, just come for a little bit and see how it feels, and then grow it. That's part of what it means to kind of engage. Just if you're not ready to take a dive, just wet your feet a little bit. There are a number of other things coming up. I just want to note one additional thing is on May 29th, Roli and I, many people know that we changed our policy at this time last year after a long process of engagement with the community, of learning and conversation. We changed our position on of multi-faith marriages, and Roli and I are now officiating at multi-faith family marriages for people who have committed to building a Jewish home. There were many marriages that we were not able to officiate over the years, of which there is significant learning about what people's experiences were, and so we're going to be in conversation with couples who have been BJ members, grew up at BJ, who we weren't able to marry, and really want to hear how can we be supportive moving forward and learn from your own experience. So respond to the office if you're in that ball game, if that's who you are. We would love to be in conversation with you. And we want to say a welcome to Dr. Walter Domke and the 11th grade AP history class from Berlin. You came pretty far too. Welcome. Mark Callister and the college students of Brigham Young University. Where are you guys? Hi, welcome. And anyone who's here for the first time. Finally, I didn't say tomorrow, we have the great privilege also of having the First Lady of New York with us. Shirlene McCrae will be speaking. It's a weekend about mental health awareness, of which we've been doing some work here at BJ, and Shirlene McRae has been devoting a lot of her attention to this issue, so she's going to speak briefly at the end of services. We're blessed to have her, so please join us. Before we conclude the service, we'll count the Omer. So before we rise to count the Omer, the Omer process is a powerful one of having a rhythm, of every night knowing, like some people have an app that says count now, don't forget to count, or we have a chavruta that says did you count? Of 49 days from the second night of Pesach to be in a rhythm of anticipation, and to also think about what it means to work on ourselves, knowing that we're all, and it comes from the idea that in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, when we were liberated, we still had a lot of blemishes from that experience. And most of us have a lot of blemishes from life, from love, from the world out there. We carry a lot of blemishes and brokenness. And the process of the counting of the Omer is to pay attention so we might be as open and as cleaned out as we can be to have the space to receive Torah, which will happen tomorrow night. And I've been thinking also, this week obviously has been an incredibly painful week. It feels like every week is that these days, but for people who love Israel deeply, this is a week that brought a significant amount of pain, no matter where you sit politically. A holy place should not be filled with death, no matter where you sit politically. Our holy land is deserving of more, and there must be a way to find a way out of this. And it's not about choosing sides, it's about finding a path forward. And I feel like, we sang this nigun before, the Bab over nigun, which is a wedding nigun, and really Shavuot is like a wedding. And it's like walking to a wedding carrying a lot of pain. And one of the things that I feel deeply in my own experience in life, and I hope it's been your experience too, and I think this is one of the things we try to cultivate here, is that receiving Torah helps us not just stick with the pain, but to work with it. What it means to be Jewish, what it means to be a part of a community that is dedicated not only to the news, but to a Torah and a tradition that has wrestled with pain and challenge and brokenness and discomfort and conflict and love and joy and hope, is that we have stories upon stories, and even the story Sarah told, do we work towards something, or do we get infused by it and leave it and take it with us? Wandering in the wilderness, we need the Torah in the wilderness, or else we're just stuck with the news. And I, for one, and I hope I think we're all here because we don't just want to be stuck with the news. We want to walk a walk in the desert, in the wilderness, towards something that asks more of us and gives us some mirror, some teaching, some conversation that asks more of us, demands more of us, gives us comfort when we feel broken, challenges us when we feel haughty, and reminds us to be humble and to search. So as we walk to this wedding tomorrow night of Shavuot, filled with anticipation, and we've counted 48 days thus far, we're carrying all that anticipation and all that life brings us. And that's actually why we come to the wedding, is because we need the wedding to live in the world. We need the wedding. We need the Torah. We need each other, a community that can hold each other and search together. So today, as we're going to count in a moment, marks the last day which is Malchut Sheba Malchut, which is pure divinity. All the work that we've done, all of the attributes that we've marked, to come to a place that says there's not only God in the heavens, but there's God to be found on the earth. And let's make it happen. Let's have that wedding. So I invite us to please rise as we turn
63, page
to page
63.
63. And 63 is the Kavanah, and then the counting is on 70. So enjoy the last night of the counting. I am about to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer as it is ordained in the Torah. You shall count from the eve of the second day of Pesach, when an Omer of grain is to be brought as an offering, 7 complete weeks. The day after the 7th week of your counting will make 50 days. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat ha'omer. Hayom tisha v'arba'im yom, shehem shiva shavuot la'omer. Shalom Aleichem, page 73. Shabbat Shalom.